Quali time for the final round tonight of the Ipransw New South Wales eSeries. We are live from Bathurst. Thanks to all our friends and all our sponsors up in the top right-hand corner for this broadcast. This should be a final hurrah for what has been a year-long series for the real life crew production car series from New South Wales. So some names out there that you'll recognise. We've also got a couple of big hitters from the V8 supercar iRacing world as well. And well, they get a bit of real world action into Madison Down. And also Jake Burton's out there tonight. So a couple of drivers you'll be well familiar with alongside these real world drivers. So let's tune in. Let's take you down for qualifying. We've got a 10-minute qualifying session, 2 laps on the board. Smallish field again tonight as we just bring the music down. We'll turn up the sound of these fantastic V8 supercars and 2-litre TCR cars tonight. The 2 classes of machines out there once again. We're just watching across the top of the mountain, Dylan Thomas. He's looking good. Great paint job on this car, isn't it? It's fantastic. And no one as yet has set a time. We're nearly 4 minutes in to qualifying. So you're going to see a bit of a scramble, I think, from the pit lane. We've got a couple of safety cars standing by. And all in all, should be a good night of racing. 2-race format tonight, including a kicking off straight away with a 15-lapper and then a 35-lapper. So we'll get into this shortly. Watching Dylan Thomas complete his first flying lap, go across the line now and finish with a time up around there, 2:08.5. That's been eclipsed straight away by Scott McCune. Goes to the top. It is a lone qualifying session, so you can see no other cars are out on the racetrack. They all do it individually, which gives them a nice free, clear shootout. Couple of laps here. Reality's gone third. Dave Worrell's P4 now. Look back to Matt Anderson. Will be the first of our 2-litre cars to cross the line shortly, and he's going to go P5 outright. The time a 2:21.7, so about 14 and a bit seconds off the top pace of a V8 supercar. So it just shows you the difference between the 2 cars tonight. That's an off track there, so this next lap will not count either. Andrew Teixeira has done a great job racing again tonight. Just as I say that, I've given him, oh, that's going to be in the wall, and that will be the end of his qualifying session. Unfortunately, with the big hit at the top of the mountain. Michael Freeman, TCB Racing, is still out there as well. Madam Magpie in the house. How you going? Welcome tonight. I think you're my only viewer out there tonight. Hello. You see the HSR car sideways down through the dipper and rip its way down towards Forest Elbow, where it will unleash 600 or so horsepower. Here we go. It's right on board with Scott McCune, and crank it up, have a listen. How good do these cars sound? See the top speed we can get tonight down here towards the chase. 250, climbing towards that 290 kph. And Scott McCune with the top time at 2:07.4. We haven't seen Burton or Down come out for a lap. I think they may start from rear of field for this one and cut their way through. I predict their lap times to be quite a bit quicker than this 2:07 we've seen so far. But and not seeing any fast sectors either in this lap from McCune. We've got a couple of personal bests, but 3 out of the 5 or 6 sectors now were not better than his first lap, and he actually goes 0.3 slower crossing the beam there. Joshua Peacock spreading his wings up the top of the mountain right now in the Honda. Another driver to go with the Honda tonight. We've got, just quickly counting, I think only 5 TCR cars tonight. So a small field of TCR cars, 2, 4, 6, 8, I think only 9 V8 supercars. So it is a very, very small field tonight for this finale here at Mount Panorama. Dave Coleman in this beautiful fishy Motorsports liveried car crossing the line. What does he do? Goes to the top with a 2:07.1. So track conditions, we're looking at 51 degrees out on the track. Any one of these times are quite slow. 51 degrees track temp on a 23-degree day here at Mount Panorama. He goes back to the pits and says, I've had enough. This is Brett Starling, currently heading up towards the top of the mountain. G'day, Keith. How you doing, mate? Nice to have you riding along board for this one tonight, our finale of the IPRA New South Wales Championship. We've got one race cam in the house. That is Mr. Scott McCune, who's currently sitting now back in the pit lane, but there's a view of his fantastic race sim. Definitely one of the cooler race sims you'll see out there. So good to see Scotty all tuned in. P2 currently with not long to go in this qualifying session, so he's dialed in nicely. Looking for a good result to finish it off tonight. There's Brett Harris as well, heading up the mountain for one last shot. I don't think he'll get his lap in. I'm pretty sure we've got a 10-minute cap on qualifying, 2 laps or 10 minutes. So the top 6 are all back in the lane. They're finished. They've decided that's enough for tonight. And we'll just stand by now for the last couple of drivers on a lap. I think Brett Starling's coming down Conrod, so we'll stay with him till the end. Straight underneath our camera there, tips it in nicely, clips the apex, heads down towards the final corner. Got a good run through there. Could use a bit more of the exit curve on the left hand side, but had it dialed in as much as he could. Hey, the stars are back. What's going on there? I thought they'd robbed us forever of stars old Facebook, but thanks, Maddie. Welcome back. I think it's probably because we've done 3 nights in a row. I think I heard somewhere that Facebook didn't like me anymore because I only did a couple of streams a week. Well, tough. That's the future for me. Right, Matty Anderson in the pits. Teixeira hasn't completed a lap. As I said, he went off the track. That won't count. Brad Harris is also not going to finish his lap. So it looks like we're running done for qualifying. We'll get set to go down to the grid shortly and get this one underway. The starting order for race number 1 tonight will be just like this. Dave Coleman will start from pole position. Alongside him, Scott McCune. There's Fishy on the pole. HSR alongside Fishy on row 2 as well, with Dylan Thomas and Michael Freeman rounding out your top 4. Then it's Murray Riali and Dave Burrell, your top 6. Starling, Anderson, the top 2 TCR cars. We'll have Peacock behind them. Madison Down will start out at 10th for TTR. Then it's Jake Verdon and Ryan Gordon, your top 12. 13th on the grid, Josh Drag with Brad Harris at the back there, 14th place. Material will start from 15th on the grid with Granshaw and Teixeira. We've got Granshaw in the safety car standing by, so is Josh Drag. And Teixeira will start from the very back with that qualifying performance. Let's take you down now and hopefully get it underway for a start shortly. Coleman with pole position. He's been quick towards the end of this season. Can he go on and take a win in this first race tonight? Let's find out. I got a feeling that Madison Down from P10 will be leading this race after about lap 2. I'll see if I can hold it to that, but he's got definitely some good speed in that car. Let's get rid of the music as we now wait for the final couple of cars to grid up here at Mount Panorama, the best racetrack in the world. So 15 laps for this first one tonight. Will we see safety cars? Will we see a nice clear run? Will we get a snoozer? Will they stretch out here and the competition be not as fierce as it has been through some of the other racetracks? I'm a little bit upset they all didn't turn up for this finale. We had quite a few at the start of this season. We've whittled down now to 15 drivers for this final race tonight. 15 competitors all up. And out of that, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 V8 supercars as their revs rise. We wait for the green light. Watch that second row. Thomas and Freeman trying to get away well and come through. Well, it's all pretty even at the start. In fact, Dave Coleman got an absolute pearler off the start, and he'll head down towards turn 1. and lead us through on this opening lap. Very, very good job. Both Down and Burden made up they made up 3 spots apiece in this opening corner. Can you believe? That is how quick they are. So 3 spots apiece off the line for Down and Burden, as Coleman already under fight here, under the challenge from Scott McCune. That's Dylan Thomas. B3 hanging on back further. There are what a sight to have in your mirrors, Madison Down and Jake Burden. There'll be some very nervous drivers in front. Reali hard on the brakes. That was Dylan Thomas locking up as well. Top 2. Oh, we got a spinner. That was Freeman. Freeman in the fence. All the drivers, I think, managed to get through without making any contact. Here we go, down to the grid. Metal grate for the first time. They head across there. It's Coleman, McCune, then Thomas. Reali, Madison Down moves his way up into a P5. So 5 positions apiece for these two, and they're all over the back of Reali now as we head up towards Skyline. Look at them come down through this little twisty part through the S's, dropping it into the dipper. Then they accelerate down the hill towards Forest Elbow. Look at the way Jake Burden is pushing the back of Madison Down as well. He's looking for a way through. We'll jump on board with Burden. They've got through on the HSR car now. They'll go side by side, door to door, almost a bit of clang in there. Door to door, a bit sideways. They still, look at that, I tell you what, Reali not giving an inch. He's not intimidated by Jake Burden. He absolutely keeps the boot into it as they come down towards the chase on this opening lap. What a fierce opening lap it's been. Madison Down up the road now. Already P4, chasing down the top 3 within a lap. He's flying, but at the front, Scott McCune leads this race from Coleman. 0.3 of a second over Coleman. 2 seconds then back to P3. Dylan Thomas, who you got to feel is probably going to be a sitting duck come the top of next Mount Straight. They are absolutely flying in this opening lap of the race. From a standing start of 209.1, not too bad at all. And unfortunately at TCR, I think we've got a spinner at the back. It's Brad Harris. He's down there somewhere in the weeds. He's got it pulled back out again now and back onto the racetrack. So as they go past us, there's McCune and Coleman. Further back, Thomas down with Burden on his tail. Reali already dropping back further. And further back from them, it's Worrell, Freeman in the distance. Coming around the corner, you've got your first of the TCR cars with Matt Anderson. Behind him, it's Starling. In the background, Josh Peacock and Andrew Texiera with a lot of damage on that car. So he's hit the wall big time on the right-hand side. The left-hand side damaged as well, unfortunately, for Andrew, who's now back in P12 and fighting to get back into this one. Head up towards Ree Park. It's going to be busy up here, sorry, up at McPhillamy now as we head across the skyline. Oh, wide Dylan Thomas. He's got Down and Burden all over the back of him. A shortcut there for Madison Down. He'll get a slowdown for that, but he thought it was a safer option to just get out of the way there. Now he's got to pay that slowdown. Both cars trying to find a way through. Burden goes around the outside, which will become the inside into the elbow. And wow, there was some fierce fighting there between them. And now we've got Down up into P3. Burden hot on his tail. Here he comes. In fact, he's just gone straight past him. Madison Down, I think, still trying to pay off that slowdown. You can hear the way he's out of the throttle there. Still trying to give that slowdown back to iRacing. That's helped Jake Burden now get up into, yeah, look at that, 3rd place. And see you later, Alligator. He gets checked right out of there. Dylan Thomas goes P4. Madison Down lost a stack of time trying to pay that back, but he'll get back into this very, very soon. Meanwhile, at the front, here's the gap from the leaders. It's McCune, half a second to Coleman, and then 3.8 back to Burden. Pretty exciting start to the race, I've got to say, this 15 lapper. G'day, Hazy. Nice to have you watching over on Twitch as well, my friend. 207.1 there for McCune, as I think Worrell was out of shape and in the wall, as he got some damage on that Super Jeep Auto WKMP Holden Commodore. Looks okay, I think, from this angle. Just getting out of shape there, and he is going a little bit slow, a little bit gingerish after a hit there. So Dylan Thomas under pressure here from Madison Down. Down will slip down the inside. Say thank you very much. And he gets through. We'll pick the right camera angle. Eventually, there it is. So you can see Down go through, and now up the hill towards the cutting in that VRS sponsored Trans-Tasman racing car. Worrell having a fight here with Freeman, who we saw around at the around at the cutting in the first lap. Now just trying to gather things up. He's got a little bit of damage, and he's just opened the door there for Worrell, who thought about a look and then backed out of it. And while at the front, there's a fair bit of damage on the right-hand door of Scott McCune, so he's obviously had a mishap somewhere in this opening 3 of 15 laps. Leading at the front though, so he's definitely pushing hard, trying to extend that lead as much as he can. His camera's crystal clear tonight. There he is, right on board, looking backwards from McCune. And this is the view forwards as we head down mountain. Once again, Conrod Straight, the fastest straight, Australian Motorsport, looking back over his shoulder. You'll know exactly where Dave Coleman is right now. He takes a bit of a breather. It's the only time you get to have a real break on this racetrack other than Mountain Straight. And into the chase once again. Madison down. He's got the gap down to 1.5, so he's definitely closing the margin to Jake Burden on this lap. We'll see what the fastest lap time is at the end of this one. I've got a feeling Madison down might go to the top of that little timing board. Oh, he's got a spin on. He's going to go around there, McCune. He's got to be careful he doesn't hit a couple of other cars here. Down went through. Jake Burden loses position as he gets out of the way of the spinning Scott McCune. So unfortunately, he's dropped it there from the lead of the race. And he's given Dylan Thomas a really good run too on Jake Burden. He'll actually go down the inside. Will Burden try and hang it around the outside? It's going to be close. Side's better of it. Burden will probably try a switch back here. He'll get some good exit speed. He lit up the rear tyres on the exit, did Jake. He may try for something at the cutting. No, he's not game enough just yet. So gives a little bit of a bump to Dylan Thomas. He's applying the pressure now, Jake Burden. Let's jump down onto the nose cone. Saw Thomas slap the fence, top of the mountain, and he's under immense pressure. Burden has to be careful here. If Thomas drops it, which he just has, he's put it in the fence there. And I was just about to say he's got to be careful he doesn't get involved in his incident, which did occur in the end. Let's go back and have a look at some TCR racing because they are battling back here in the field. This is Matt Anderson and Brett Starling back for 9th and 10th, 3rd and 4th outriding class. This little battle. So recap at the front, we've got Dave Coleman, 3.4 seconds up the road from Madison down, who's tracking him down quite quickly. Jake Burden's fallen back a bit now, the gap 5.6 seconds to top 3. And did he pick up any damage when he was quite close to the car in front? Just seeing if there's any front end damage. I think he managed to avoid any contact when Dylan stuck it in the fence. Then Reale's further back now, 5 seconds off the top 3. McCune, who's recovering from that spin, carrying some damage, will now probably have to fight this fight with his teammate Reale and also Dylan Thomas, who's in the mix here as well. So they've all gapped the car of Michael Freeman by 8 seconds, 16 seconds back to Dave Worrell at the back of this one. And then you've got Andrew 6-0, who's just gone past all of them straight there. So he's 9th place, up 8 positions, working his way through, but he's in a V8 supercar. So of course, starting in the back, he's going to make up some gains over these 2-litre TCR cars. Anderson still going very well in 10th place outright. But importantly, leading the TCR cars. In fact, I've got to fix up a couple of those graphics. A couple of those drivers have changed classes for this finale. So one of them being Burton, of course, who last time he raced in this series, Jake was in a TCR car. Now he's tonight jumped into the V8 supercar, which he'll be much more accustomed to, and Freeman is the other one. Just go and find Mr. Freeman there and change his little insignia to be a representative too of a V8 supercar, because he's up there in the top position. So they sound much more pedestrian, don't they, the TCR cars, as they descend the mountain. Okay, so all is well on the timing screen now. So Matt Anderson is the top TCR car, leading Brett Sterling as Andrew sticks it back in the fence again. Let's go back to the top of the order, where we see a 1.8 second deficit between Coleman and Down. Like I said, it is getting closer and closer. Madison is on the charge. The gap came down by just over a second on the last lap. Madison down to the 206.5 versus a 207.8 for the race leader. 200 kph as you hit the top over Reed Park down towards the metal grate. Absolute commitment through here, still right up there, 200 kilometers an hour, turning it in. You try and focus on Skyline, think about your braking zone, think about the modulation you've got to do to get the car slowed down through here without snatching a brake and putting it in the wall. And then the dipper, the famous dipper, just drop the car in, feed the throttle, try not to get wheel spin, try not to hit the fence there, otherwise you'll be off to Coates High to get yourself a trailer. Take the car home, turn it in nice and sharp into Forest Elbow, then unleash all that horsepower down this beautiful long straight up to full speed here. 290 kilometers per hour in a V8 supercar at Mount Panorama. One of these days I'll crack the 300. So the gap down to 7/10 now. He's wheeling him in. He is down. We've got a lap car, one of the TCR cars just ahead of Coleman, your race leader as well. Let play any part in this. Coleman will look to the inside, hard on the brakes. TCR car's pretty good on the brakes, so you can see he actually outbraked the V8 supercar there, the 2-litre car. And now the straight line speed should be pretty evident. He'll go screaming past, and Madison down. I've got a feeling he might go for the lead here. No, he's going to be patient, and he's going to wait for Mountain Straight to head off into the lead of this race. In the background, Jake Burton is also just closing that margin too. Now he's getting ever so close to the back of Down. It's now 2.2 seconds. It was a little bit more than that before, as Down now does take the lead of this race. So Down, Coleman, Burton, Riali, Dylan Thomas. One of my favourite liveries out there tonight is this Dylan Thomas car. It looks very cool. And you got Michael Freeman, Dave Worrell further back as well. Almost putting it in the fence there. Madison Down's going to try and get a bit of a gap here, I think, between himself and Burton. He's going to use Dave Coleman as a little bit of a shield for the next couple of minutes. We've got a car in the fence there. That's big damage too. That's Andrew 6 Series hit the wall hard there, and that's ripped all sorts of parts off that car. Let's have a quick look at a replay on that one. So, yep, he's dropped it big time. It's going to be the end of that one. That'll sit there for a moment. We may see a safety car. Sort of hoping we don't. I'm sort of hoping we stay green here. Although we'll squeeze things up a little bit for the drivers that have just dropped back. We're going to see into the pits comes the leaders. So we've all decided to jump in here, and I think we may. I'm just seeing if we've got a safety car coming out. We do. So the Porsche safety car is going to come out onto the racetrack it'll pick up the leaders shortly. So there you go. Moment to catch our breath. We'll be back with you shortly once we get things sorted after this pit stop phase and we head into the next part of this race. So under caution here for a couple of laps. We're going to just roll around and extend this one out. And it's Madison Down who leads the party from Josh Bird. So these two are going to have a red hot go towards the end of this race, no doubt. Then you've got Dave Coleman, McCune. They've had a chance to get that damage fixed too in the pit stop, which is a key factor for them running to the end of this race now. So that's a good thing. Just having a quick look too at the stoppage time, pretty even under safety car. They've all taken fuel on board, 11 seconds worth of fuel for the top three. Pretty sure they're not going to need all of that. They're saving fuel whilst under caution here, and hopefully this safety car will be into the pits this lap. Just trying to see it's led everyone to Harris get back onto the lead lap. Obviously the broken down car of Xeri and Grenshaw are both well down 2 laps and 7 laps between them. So safety car is checked out by the looks of things, off into the distance, which is a good sign. So Madison Down will have control of the field and get us up and running again shortly for this 6-lap dash to the end by the looks of things. So see how we go. What do you pick out there? Do you think Down or Burton? Who's going to win this one between the two? Right on his tail, getting ready for the restart. He's not mucking around here, is Jake Burton. He is keen to go. Safety car's in the pit lane. It's now up to Madison Down. When he wants to hit that throttle and go, the rest of the field will follow. He may hold this back right to the final corner here. Jake Burton won't get any sort of jump. We'll jump on board with Burton. He'll have reflexes like a hawk, maybe riding that. There we go. So riding that brake pedal slightly and then jumping straight on the throttle as soon as Down accelerates away. So they got a good jump there. Coleman's gone with him. And I think McCune and Thomas also got a pretty good start too. Scott McCune will be feeling better now he's had that car fully repaired. For the last 6 laps of this race, it'll definitely feel much better than it did a couple of laps ago when it was bent on all 4 corners. So Down v Burton, here we go. Down into the braking zone. Jake Burton's going to lead this one for the first time tonight. And he gets the job done. The VRS car of TCR car of Madison Down now gets up alongside. You don't really want to run 2 cars side by side into there, and Down backs out in the end. That was super close. He's all over his tail once again up the hill. And as they head up towards Reed Park, check out the speed through here. Contest we're about to witness here. Snake their way out of sight down towards the elbow. On the restart lap, they've already gapped Coleman by over a second in the top 2. Coleman further back has got a good gap of over a second as well, back to Scott McCune. Then Thomas, Reale, Freeman behind him. Decent exit out of the corner for Morrell in the background. He's got to try and stay with Freeman. He's already losing a bit of that toe, and just coming out of the elbow now is Anderson, Starling and Peacock, your top 3 in the TCR class. Brad Harris right on the back as well, so only 4 cars really battling over that TCR position at the moment with Ryan Gorton. Unfortunately not in the race. I'm not sure what's happened to Ryan. He did he was on the starting list, but he hasn't even turned a lap, so it's a bit disappointing as well. So a 2:05.8, near fastest lap of the race for Madison Down on the restart lap. moving along very, very nicely indeed. Lap 11, 15. We've got a 25 lap to go after this. 25 lapper, gee whiz. It's a decent length race on a, what is time, a Wednesday night? Wednesday night. So yeah, I'm just dealing with a work emergency at the same time as broadcasting tonight, just proving I can multitask here. So there you go. So top two, down Bird, Coleman. Not much else I can say really. Dylan Thomas trying to stay with him. He's just dropped back. Now 2 seconds on this restart lap. Let's go and have a look at Anderson. He is applying some pressure to Brett Starling, who's now got himself in the top position. Michael Stewart in the house says, "Go HSR boys, wish I was there with you guys." We wish you were here too, mate. Would have been good, the more the merrier. As we watch Anderson just dropping back slightly, you can hear the different, I guess, aggression in the sounds of the V8 supercars compared to these two leader cars. They're much quieter, much softer in attack. So Anderson just dropping back a little bit further as well as down, tips it in, flat out in the chase, still 5, what is it, just over, no sorry, it's 2/10, covers the top two, so Burton is staying with him. He'll tend to just stay under his rear wing, use the power of the toe, save some more fuel. Expect these two to put on a bit of a show towards the end of this race. They're going to battle to the end, but they won't be, oh, look at that. Good exit there from Burton. He'll go to the lead of the race. Down, got up on the exit curb, lit up the rear tyres, and that's how you quickly drop a position. He gives him a bit of a bump coming onto the straightaway here, so he's giving him a bump draft up Mountain Straight. Here's Madison down. There we go again. Can't get much closer than that in V8 supercar racing, that's for sure. Pulls out of the toe, goes to the outside, just down. He'll try and go the long way around here. Switch back in now, trying for a switch back. He'll get an overlap straight away. Good job. So he gets the overlap up the hill towards the cutting. Can he get inside? Oh wow, that's close to go too wide through there. Good driving. Down, hangs on for everything up towards the top of the hill. Now he gets an overlap. Oh, that's not somewhere you want to overtake, is it? Door to door through there, incredible. How do they not make contact through there? They're still wheel to wheel, these two. Putting on a spectacle. Head to the top now. Still too wide. Incredible stuff. Too wide towards Skyline they go. Drop it down through the S's, hard on the brakes. And into the dip. Oh, look at that. Jake Bird ahead now of down. That was a couple of kilometres there of door-to-door racing by two of the best. That was fantastic to watch. Dave Coleman sitting back there enjoying this P3. He's got Scott McCune trying to hustle up to the back of him, but the gap's still around 7/10 of a second. We'll see what it is at the end of this straightaway. I think it's going to be a little bit closer with the power of the draft as once again down goes to the outside, down towards this tip-in point. We go to the drone camera down there, side by side underneath us. Look at that, hard on the brakes. It's going to be Madison down again to lead us in this race. We've had so many lead changes, more contact, and sideways for Bird. Wow, that's close as they exit to go down towards the final corner. Under the Armour All sign we go, and hard on the brakes. This fighting is actually helping Coleman close the margin, and McCune's going with him, so the gap back down to a second now between first and third place. This has really tightened up the top four. Oh, big contact there. That's put Bird in the wall, has it? He's bounced off the fence there. Now we'll down give that position back. We might have to review that one. So let's have a look at that. Bit of a hit. Here's the replay. There's already a little bit of contact. And we'll go to a wide shot here just to see exactly what happens. Burden dived down the inside, was very deep, couldn't stop it. Down then gave him a bit of a hit from behind. And Burden went off the racetrack, rejoined in fourth place. So yeah, no, it's all pretty fair. All fair in love and war. So I think Down is just backing them up a little bit here, helping Burden get back onto the back of this pack, working together. We've got Anderson and Starling trading positions to the top of the TCR little battle. This is back in 8th and 9th outright, 1st and 2nd in class. And Madison Down and Dave Coleman also almost getting together there. That's very close between them as Burden now gets onto the back of the top 3. Let's watch this as he goes through an overtake. He's right underneath the rear wing of Scott McCune. McCune goes defensive. Burden goes down the outside. And now he tries that switch back. Here we go. And he get a good exit off the corner. McCune was pretty good in his own shell there, but I tell you what, he's going to get him under brakes. Good job into turn 1. Jake Burden slips into P3. Lap 14 to 15. We've got 2 to go in this race. Up over the hill we go. Jake Burden all over the back, this time with Dave Coleman into the S's. Will he try for an overtake here? He's going to be patient. Coleman, you can imagine how much pressure he's feeling right now. Just gets dropped down into the dipper nicely, keeps it right close to the fence. Just has to withstand this pressure on the brakes. You can see the back end trying to step out. Now down through Forest Elbow. Got a pretty good exit right up against the fence. Down, just fishing around in front of the Fishy Motorsports car. And here we go, Jake Burden will get a great toe, and he should be able to swing to the right. You think he would try and go to the right here and pick up the toe of Down as well, which he does now. Down's actually been quite helpful there by staying to the right. Now he switches across, sends it into the braking zone here into the chase, and job done. Jake Burden up into P2. Now it's back to how it was before. These two wily old foxes fighting at the front. Madison Down with a lap to go will lead us into the final lap from Jake Burden, Coleman and McCune. P3 and 4, then Dylan Thomas sitting in 5th place, Reale back in 6th, Dave Orell 7th place, just coming down now as the white flag drops. Matt Anderson leading the TCR class is in 8th position. So final lap, let's see if we get some fireworks on this one. Down and Burden. Thing is as well, if they drop it at all, there's going to be 2 very eager drivers there, the Dave Coleman, the Fishy Motorsports driver, or Scott McCune, the HSR driver, there to pick up the pieces. They're in their own little battle at the moment for 3rd and 4th, as you can see. They'll be very, very aware of a Bradbury situation here. So the final round this is of the Ipransw New South Wales Improved Production and Racing Association Series. They've done an eSeries this year to celebrate their class of racing, and it's good to see them finishing it at Bathurst after a great round at Phillip Island a couple of weeks ago, and inviting a couple of these legends along to race and really put on a show at the front. Run it down the hill. There. Oh, a big hit in the fence for Down. He just slapped the rear of that car into the wall. And dear me, as that slowed him down, will Jake Burden be able to capitalise in this final part of the last lap of this race? They go side by side. Burden will be on the inside as they tip it in. Down behind will try a switchback, gives him a little bit of a bump. Can he get it pulled up with that bump? He can't. He goes straight on there, so Down did give him a little bit of a send. He's going to try and go sideways across in front. Down has to give up the position anyway, and Jake Burden is going to take a win. And look at Scott McCune in the background trying to sneak through for P3. Can't get it. Checker flag drops. Race 1 goes to Jake Burden. Fantastic result ahead of Dave Coleman and Scott McCune on the podium for the first one tonight. Wow, good finish to the race. I think it's going to be down then. Thomas in P5. Riali will cross the line 6th ahead of Dave Royal. And it looks like Brett Starling might be the one that's going to lead out this 2-litre class. He's got a huge, well, it's not a huge margin, 1 second back to Matt Anderson as they come over the top of the hill. There's still a half a lap to go to finish this race. So there you go. Play it through. We'll have some results up for you shortly as well. Once this one's done, we're going to talk to Dave and a couple of others in the break. And we go into a 25 lapper. Then I've got to go out and work again because I've just been called out. So there you go. The joys of working way too hard and not having time to do streaming anymore. It's the way it is. So we'll just we'll get through this one. And there is the site. I tell you what, they're a long way back, aren't they, the TCR cars? But Brett Starling, he's raced well. I don't think Matt Anderson's got an answer in these last couple of corners, although he's got closer. He's now within 0.4 of a second. Is Anderson. Is he going to try a late lunge here on the final corner? Maybe send it down the inside. Here he goes. He's going to look. He's going to look. And he's not going to get there. So Brett Starling will take the checker flag and win the 2-litre class tonight for the first of 2 races. Righto, back with you shortly. We'll go over a quick break and then we'll come back and go to race 2 shortly here on Race Stars TV.
Thanks, Matt. It was an awesome race.
So race results up on the screen there. Jake Burton crowned the winner for race number 1 tonight, 0.4 of a second over Dave Coleman. Scott McCune, your top 3. As then Madison down P4, Dylan Thomas P5, Riali 6th, Burrell 7th, and it was Starling who got 8th, first of the TCR cars ahead of Matt Anderson and Joshua Peacock. Top 3 there, going to bring Dave Burrell in for a chat. Hello Dave, how you going, mate?
G'day Luke, how you doing, champion?
Not too bad, mate, and some good racing out there. The boys, the Invite boys, putting on a big show at the front.
They're absolutely they're absolute freaks. I think they had me by turn 2. They just ripped through the field. Yeah, they're absolute freaks, those guys.
Our final race of the season, mate. It's a smallish field, but we're out here doing it. We've got another race to go. What have we got here? A warm-up session, so a bit of time to talk about what's going on in the world of IPRA or IPRA.
Yeah, a bit of a warm-up session. We had the last round 2 weeks ago at Sydney Motorsport Park. And Trevin Spiteri out there running. He actually won New South Wales State Championships for over 2 litre with his Mitsubishi Evo, which was a bit of an up and down weekend for him. But yeah, everything's pointing towards 2023, and from what I've heard, they're going to have first round down at Winton.
There you go, so things firing up again.
Yeah, getting ready for 2023 over at Winton. As because Wakefield's not around for much longer.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is very sad, mate. Also, I'd like to say a massive thank you to yourself for all your help you've done this year for us. And as always, absolutely outstanding broadcast. And it's going to be sad to see you go, mate. To be honest.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Yep. No, it's going to be a different year for me next year, that's for sure. So
onwards and upwards, mate.
I'll still be doing something, I'm sure. I just actually renewed my iRacing today for another 2 years, so I'll be around.
Waited a couple of days, mate. The Black Friday sales coming on.
No, I got that. I got 30% off.
Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, I don't think Black Friday is going to be any better than 30%, is it?
True. I don't know.
Not for existing members. They usually new members get 50% off, and existing members get a meat pie.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Something like that.
As soon as you've renewed your membership, it means you're going to have to come and race in the Ipransw series next year.
Possibly. Yeah, so I'll still be around doing some broadcasting, but I just, like I've said a few times, can't do 12-hour days and then do this, and then actually I've got to go back out to work as soon as this is done. So,
mate, I feel you paid, mate. I feel you paid.
But anyway, what have we got in store for the rest of this evening? Another 25-lap race, yeah?
We got a 25-lapper. The supercars are going to be limited to the same fuel, obviously, 45% tank capacity, 2 sets of tyres only. which is going to be, I think they, from what we've roughly worked out, I think they're going to have to do about 3 pit stops unless they do some serious fuel saving. So yeah, they're going to have to go for a stint with some old tyres on as well, so which should make it a bit interesting.
Yeah.
TCR cars are at 50% fuel tank, and they can have unlimited tyres as well, so which should be good. So we killed a bit of the power and gave the supercars some extra weight for tonight's session.
Yeah, I was wondering why they were a bit slow. I was watching those times for Madison and thinking, okay, that's not his usual speedy self.
Not his usual speedy self. That we've made the supercars a bit lazy, so which has been pretty good because across the top when they're behind the TCR cars, it makes them a little harder to overtake across the top. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good thing. They're totally different to handle. You got to adjusting all the different brake points and acceleration points and all that. So it's yeah, I think it was pretty good, to be honest.
Very good, righto. Well, we've got just on 30 seconds before grid time, so good luck in the next race.
Cheers, thanks Scott. Thanks,
Cheers,
mate. I'll talk to you later.
Cheers, mate. All right, we're set to go shortly to race 2, 25 laps coming up shortly. We'll go straight down to the grid straight after this. Righto, final race of the night. This is how they will start. Jake Burton will start alongside Dave Coleman with a progressive grid. Scott McCune on the second row, Madison down out of P4, and it's Dylan Thomas and Riali starting out the top 6. You got Dave Rell out of 7, Brett Starling P8 on the grid, Matt Anderson and Joshua Peacock will start from 9th and 10th on the grid, with Michael Freeman and Brad Harris your top 12. 13th on the grid is Andrew Teixeira, and then you've got Granshaw in the Porsche safety car standing by it. Ryan Gordon as well. Hopefully can make the grid. I'm not sure if he will. Josh Drake in the safety car as well, and then Spiteri will start off the back of the grid for this final race. So they're gridding up. Let's get rid of the music and get set to go racing. So as we heard there's a bit more weight and a bit less power in the V8 Supercars tonight. Hence why I reckon Burton and Madison down will be thinking, hey, what's going on here? This is not the usual fiery, nimble cars that we're used to. These supercars are a little bit doughy tonight, as you can tell by the lap times as well. Probably about 4 or 5 seconds off what they would normally do. So we'll just wait on McCune and Riali to grid up here. We'll get a start shortly, folks. Righto, we're getting ready to start. We're just waiting on Brad Harris, I think, and Ryan Gordon, I think, is going to miss out on the grid again, sadly, for this one. We're just holding back. We've got a couple of flashing cars there too. Madison down it is. Let's hope that's not going to be an issue for him, as Scott McCune in position on that second row. Jake Burton, who took the win in race 1. The revs rise here. Let's get set to go. 25 laps, Mount Panorama, for the final round of the Ipransw New South Wales Improved Production Car Racing Association. We get underway well. Lots of wheel spin to the back. front looked pretty good. Everyone got away cleanly into turn one, side by side, down around the outside of Scott McCune. I think he got through there cleanly. He did. Down already up a position into third. McCune back to fourth. As we head up the mountain, Jake Burton leads us, as he likes to do, up towards turn two. Fanning out in the background, you can already see the gaps. Back to Freeman at the back, then Matt Anderson. This is the 2 litre class. A couple of supercars starting out of position, just trying to sneak their way through as well. Sounded like contact in the back there. I'm not sure if it was. So leap up over the top of the hill on this opening lap of the race. There will always be a bit of rubbing of panels against walls here at Mount Panorama. Down wants to clear Coleman as quickly as possible here. This is holding him back in his fight. Oh, he's just disappeared again, has Down, and reappeared. So Coleman holding station in P2. Long way to go though. Fuel stops, pit stops, tyres, you name it. He's disappeared again, Down, and then he reappears. Further, Worrell just a little bit sideways, lost a lot of momentum out of the elbow. Drops back from Freeman. Freeman's up 4 spots in front, so he's done a nice job. Although I think probably a few of those positions were stolen away from the TCR cars with a big V8 supercar advantage around the mountain tonight. Even with those disadvantages they've added with weight and less power, they're still going to be quicker overall around the mountain. It's Down now. Gets up into P2. Dave Worrell goes for a skid across the grass and back on. And Freeman still holds that 7th position. So back at the front, it's Burton and Down, Coleman, McCune and Thomas, your top 5 as they cross the line to finish lap 1. So Burton leading, Down, Coleman, McCune, your top 4, quite spread out already. You can see in the background, gap back to Tillon Thomas from Scott McCune is just on 2.8 seconds. Embriali and Freeman, a 7.8 second gap back to Worrell. Siri is up 4 spots into 9th place. And Siri, who's out there moving through the field, he's up into 10th now. After starting at the back of the grid. New fastest lap for this man, Madison Down, as he starts to close up on the back of Jake Burton. He is flying along nicely. Let's jump on board and watch the way he attacks the mountain here with precision. Madison Down, the number 94 car. commitment through the top of the mountain, as you can see. Well, as you can't see, there he is. He's back again. Now you see him, now you don't. He's back now though, and so that 205.1 last lap from down. Will we see them into the 204s? The track temp is still, I think, right up there. Yeah, 43. So it has come down a bit. It was 51, I think, in the first race tonight. Now 43 degrees. The ambient temperature still 23. Has not changed. And look at the way they've dropped Coleman now. You can see the gap. It's now 4.8 seconds. So they start lap 4 of 25 laps. Freeman starting to get close to Riali as well. This could be a good little battle for 6th position. Matt Anderson leading the TCR class. Has got a half a second gap between himself and the next driver, Brett Starling, and then it's Joshua Peacock, Club Racing Engineering car, back in 12th place. And about 3.7 off Anderson and Starling up the road in 10th outright, but first, second in class. Stay with this lead battle now for a little bit. We'll watch Burden try and fend off Down as Down closes right up onto the back of these two Holden Commodores. In fact, Dylan Thomas is the only Ford Mustang out there in the top 10, with everyone else driving the Commodore tonight. Here he goes down for the overtake, into the chase, side by side they go. Oh, he skips across the curb. How was that for up in the air there? Madison Down, all 4 wheels up in the air. We'll try and get a replay of that. Might even get you a slow-mo relive that one. That was intense. And Down now leads this race. So wow, let's have a quick look at that. See if we can't slow it down at the moment. The chase there, so check this out. All 4 wheels off the ground there for Down. We'll take that back and have another look. Pretty spectacular. Here it is. Check it out again. These guys are crazy. Back live as Down now still leads by just on a couple of tenths of a second. And they continue to fight at the top. They've dropped down McCune by 7.7 seconds. And McCune's got ahead now of Dave Coleman as well. So this is the battle for third. HSR versus Fishy. Nothing fishy going along here. Dylan Thomas, the next Fishy car in line, then HSR. So HSR Fishy having these little duels at the moment. Also having a duel at the front between the Trans-Tasman racing car and the Vendeville Sim Racing entries of Down and Burton. How are we doing out there tonight, folks? Watch the way Coleman descends here. Keeps the pressure on McCune, who drops it down to the dipper. A big cloud of smoke as the tyres reconnect to the road surface. Pretty evenly matched, I reckon, these two. They've had some good fights throughout the season. They're bringing it down to the wire. Meanwhile, these two, let's see if we get that same sort of action turning into the chase this time. Not this time, a bit cleaner for Down, and he holds the lead position as Bird closes right up under his rear wing. So a 205.178, the fastest lap we've seen so far from Madison Down on lap 2. Will the tyres start to complain a little bit as we get deeper into this race tonight? We'll obviously find out. Michael Dumbrell says, go HSR. Nice to see you there, Michael. Hope you're doing well, man. Thanks, High Racer, as well. G'day, welcome aboard tonight. what is a Wednesday night, isn't it? Bin night. Put the bins out on a Wednesday night. That's how I know what night it is. So Burden having a look now. He's all over the back of down once again. These two have had some good battles over the years. Fierce competitors in eSeries and Pro Invitational, many other fantastic leagues. And they're out there again. I'd love to have a dollar for every lap Madison Downs done around this place, or Jake Burden. I reckon you could buy a house with a dollar for every lap they've done around here. Coleman's still trying to put pressure on McCune. McCune hasn't cracked at all. He's been really solid in the first 6 laps of this race. Spitteri's off in the wall. That's down at Chase, front of the Ridges Hotel. Reverse that back onto the track. Should be able to get it going again. But he has got some fast cars on their way down Conrad towards him. Here they come, the leaders. They want to try and get that out of the way as soon as he can, so these two don't get walked or stuck behind him. He has recovered the car now. He's just going through turn in the final corner. So good job from Spitteri there. He's P13 and running 10th in class for the V8 Supercar class tonight. Michael's waiting on a new cord. There you go, new cord. What sort of cord are you waiting? Power cord, cord for the steering wheel, cord for that awesome motion rig. So we go back to the TCR battle. This is for first and second in class, a long way back off the lead. In fact, I'd be surprised if they're not lapped too far away from here. I think they'll probably be lapped by around lap 10 or 11 in this race. And Matt Anderson's having a good old duke out here with Brett Starling. They've dropped Peacock. He's now 6 seconds away from this battle. These two have just been at it lap after lap. You can see it's a bit of a yo-yo. 1.5 seconds. Starling was slower on lap 1, but then he was quicker by 1.2 on lap 2, then about a 10th either way up until the last lap, where Starling was able to pull out 9/10 of a second. The gap's come back down now to only 2/10 and getting more and more diminished as they come into the tow, into the chase, under full tow there, under brakes. Matt Anderson closes it up, yeah, so within 3/10 of a second, gets a good drive through the mid-corner there as well, and he'll push out right on the tail, so that was really good. Carried heaps of speed across the apex, and now he's going to have a look down the inside as Matt Anderson doesn't make the overtake. But good to see these two having, like I say, great ding-dong way back in the field. New fastest lap for Down did a 2:05 on the lap 2. Hasn't been able to eclipse that yet, has he? So the fastest lap for Down, the 2:05.1 versus 2:05.4 for Jake Burden. The old cord for the shifter. Yep, another one. Michael, it'll be good to see you racing again, man, that's for sure. So lap 8 of 25. Hello to all the Ipra New South Wales members and the people that have tuned in over the course of this series. G'day, and thanks for your support. It's been good to be able to broadcast and do a representation of some of your drivers and camaraderie that's involved in the series. Don't forget to check it out. Check out the Real World Ipra series. You can get yourself a car, get yourself involved, get out there racing. Head across to the web page. There it is, and obviously some pretty cool stuff on there. You can go and see what the important dates are for this year, the results, obviously the history of the club, and it's pretty cool. It tells you all about what you need to do to race in this series. In the real world, you go get yourself an improved or a production car with a roll cage and off you go. It's pretty mega, so make sure you check it out. So we'll go through a couple of other drivers. We'll look down the field a bit more. We've got Dave Worrell, who's put a massive amount of work in for this series to get it up and running. So big credit to Dave. I don't think it would have got off the ground if it wasn't for his input and the connection he has through a couple of these drivers, also with the VA vets. So it's good to see him out there driving, enjoying himself, and massive thanks to Dave for all the tireless hard work. Reali, another of the vets guys, 777 HSR car, heading up the hill once again. He is also another man that's done a few laps around this place and enjoys his sim racing. Dylan Thomas is the lone Mustang out there. Great looking livery on this fishy Motorsports car. A retro throwback, isn't it? Currently sitting in 5th place outright. Like I said, the only Ford Mustang in the top 9. We've got 9 V8 supercars. Then we get down to these guys. Honda leading Honda in the 2-litre TCR class tonight as we head through lap 9, almost ready for lap 10. Whoa, he went wide through there, didn't he? And in fact, that's just one of the supercars. Was just getting out of the way there, giving him a bit of space, and I think he may have even gone off the track. As now we've got Down and Burton in the pit lane, so this is the first pit stop for the supercars at the front. They obviously need some... oh, look at that. Looks like Jake Burton has lost his front bar there. I wonder how that's happened. There's been some contact, I think a bit of nose-to-tail contact between those two, and it's done some damage. Will that affect his straight line speed? No doubt he'll actually just get it replaced here in the stop. Let's have a look. Very good at iRacing. They can just pop a new bonnet. There you go. Pops a new bonnet straight on. Thank you very much. And let's see who gets out in front. So green flag, pit stop. Looks like everyone's coming to the pits. Right back, McCune's there, Coleman. Thomas is in the pits as well, so is Reali. And jumping out first, Madison Down with a 17.6 second stop. Jake Burton a little bit longer in the pits, 18.8, so 1.2 seconds longer stationary. They come out line of stern 1.9 seconds apart. Coleman's still in the pits, then McCune, Thomas, Reali, and Freeman, who stays out. Should be able to jump a couple of these and make his way up the order even further. I'm sure the TCR cars won't need so much fuel, so they'll probably stay out for a fair bit longer. Yeah, but Madison Down comes out in front and leads us once again up the mountain. lap 12 of 25. Let's do a recap of where we're at here. Madison down. Coming down to finish lap 12. Leads this one by 1.8 seconds. Over Jake Burden, who is trying to track him down here. McCune's a further 29 seconds off the lead. He's having this fight with Dave Coleman. They've had a pretty good scrap, these two, since the start of this race. We're almost half race distance, and Dylan Thomas is about 10 seconds back off the battle for third. Sits comfortably ahead of Michael Freeman, the TCB racing car. Having a much better race in race 2 than he did in race 1. So there's Michael's car. He's got a bit of damage on the right front. So in fact, the whole right side swiped the wall somewhere there. I think Spiteri is off the track again, just gets out of the way of the race leaders. He's got a lot of... Oh! He's waxing into the fence there as well. Does Spiteri, unfortunately. He might have blown the motor there. We'll wait and see. No, he's still got it running. He'll spin around, and there's definitely some smoke hanging around that motor. Yeah, that could struggle to get back to the pit lane. He's got McCune and Coleman, you can just see in the background there, chasing him down. This is the view they're going to see. I'll start to see a smoke cloud up here. It reminds me of... oh, look out. It reminds me of the old Red Baron game where you would shoot down the World War I planes. See the smoke trail going across the sky. Always knew you had them once you saw the smoke trail. He's going to try and limp that back to the pits. I don't think he will. I think he's going to retire that car. It's definitely not going to make it up the hill at this stage. It's overheated, and that has expired. So he's stuck there. He's stationary. And will they just let him reset this one back to the pits? We'll wait and see. Gap's being maintained here. It's still 2 seconds. It was 1.7 last time we came into the chase. So Down's doing enough at the moment. You can see he took he's about a hundredth quicker on the last lap. Not a lot, but I think he's going to be a fair bit quicker. I'm going to predict about 3/10 quicker on this lap. He's going to cross the line here. Could even be 4/10 quicker. He crossed the line with a 2.2 second margin. Gap this time around as it resets itself. Oh, okay. So Burton was actually quicker on that lap. That does not make any sense at all, because it was definitely the margin was different, wasn't it, last time around? Let's have a look at the lap times. So yeah, Down on that lap did a 2:05.7 versus a 2:05.8. And sorry, I read the graphic wrong. Yeah, Burton was slower by only just 1/10 of a second. I thought it was a bit more than that. Just over 1/10 of a second slower. So Coleman still has McCune in his sights, can't get past, so jump back on board with him. Gap at the front, still 1.8 seconds. Just checking on the 2-litre battle. Starling still leading from Anderson. And Josh Peacock further back. This is a good scrap. Let's jump on board here with Matt Anderson. Trying to find a way through. It's Hyundai versus Honda. Not too many places to pass up the top of the mountain here. And such a different experience driving a front-wheel drive car over the top of the mountain compared to a rear-wheel drive V8 supercar, that's for sure. These drivers would be, well, those that chop and change between cars would definitely, I reckon, struggle first time you set foot in one of these around the mountain. Either way the car lifts, scrapes and almost tramps its way around some of the corners. Just didn't get the exit speed. He needs to be a lot closer coming off the mountains if he wants to try and challenge and close up onto the back of Starling. Just doing enough at the moment. There's Ryan Gorton, who did make it for race 2, which is good to see. He obviously was super quick in a couple of the races this season. He didn't get a run in race 1 tonight for some reason, but he's back for race 2 and doing well, P14, although he's down 7 laps, so not much chance of him getting back onto the lead lap tonight, that's for sure. Spiteri still limping home, I think it was. No. Was Spiteri? No, it's not Spiteri. He's gone. So there's another car limping its way down. Conrad down, trying to pick up who it was. Sixeria, so he's also blown the car up. Andrew's gone bush somewhere. That is a very broken looking race car. He'll go into the pits, he'll get a fast repair, I think, to get that back up and running. These two out in front, 37.3 seconds clear of P3. It is the Madison Down Jake Burton show at the front. That's for sure. This guy's absolutely flying tonight. Sideways, mega sideways there for Burton. You can see how hard he's pushing. The gap's come down again now, 1.3. Just chipping away bit by bit to get onto the tail here of Down. Still got a way to go in this race, 9 or so laps. Plenty of time to do something here. Best of the rest here with McCune, and we've got a change for the lead, have we?
Right, control 818 with touching the toe.
Dylan Thomas is in all sorts up the top.
Detail.
So he's crashed at the top of the mountain there.
Is that safety car, race control?
Yes, there will be a safety car. Safety car, boards and flags.
There you go, so we're going on full course caution here for this reason. Dylan Thomas has
that back's got it.
come and crashed up the top of the mountain. Let's have a quick look at that and see what's gone wrong here for Dylan. High speed across the top of the mountain, got it up on the exit curb, and he'll lose it under brakes here, I think, and he's going to have a big accident. Bang. We see that a lot in the real world, don't we? They don't usually stick in the wall like that in the real world, but it's a big shunt. And unfortunately, that beautiful looking race car has done its run for this evening. So full course caution out now. We'll do what we always do. when there's not much going on with the caution. We'll chuck on a bit of music and be back with you in about 5 minutes time. They should have kept it green. Keep it green, keep it mean. Anyway, back with you shortly.
Keep up to the safety car.
Go past, safety car.
Copy.
Race control. Can the TCR cars pass the pace?
Copy, just hold on until we go down, kind of, I'll be calling it when we go down there.
Roger.
Ready, start. Everyone can say that for TCR cars passing around.
Okay, so things are about to heat up for the final part of this race. We've got the safety car coming in this lap, and we're going to get a 6-lap dash to the finish of the IPRE New South Wales Improved Production Racing Association Series for 2022. So this will heat things up. It has been a bit of a snoozer up until this point, but I think with them all gathered together, you've got the likes of Down, obviously, and Burton will attack each other up the front, but then these two, in particular McCune, Coleman and Freeman, who's right there on the back of this battle too, he might even engage with this little battle at the front. We'll see. Anderson, Starling, Peacock, the battle for the 2 leaders, they're all down a lap. Quite spread out, trying to catch up to the safety cars there. Actually well apart from each other, those cars, so that's not going to be ideal for their little race towards the end. They haven't had a chance to bunch up behind the safety car. They're just too slow to get back to the back of the pack. So we are going to get a restart though now. And it will be Jake Burton who will lead us the way. What can Scott McCune do? He's been quick all night, just ultimately probably a second outright off the best pace of these two in front, who consistently hit the 205s. The best lap we've seen McCune do a 206.9 and 207.0 then for Dave Coleman. Consistently seeing 205, low 205s for Madison Down as well. So here we go, restart time. So Down gives himself a little bit of breathing room. Now Burton gets on the throttle. We get back to green flag racing as we get a 5-lap dash. 6-lap dash to the end. Lap 20 we start. And straight away, McCune under pressure from Coleman, who had a look to the inside. Thought better of it. Oh, what a big moment coming off the curve there as well for Coleman. Almost threw it to the weeds. You just see in the background there, Matt Anderson, he did catch the back of the pack. So the top TCR car did catch the back of the safety car train. And in fact, that's given him a gap back to Starling of 45 or so seconds. So lights out. That's the end of that one. That's the end of the 2-litre race. You would think Anderson just needs to hold on from there, and he should be able to win the 2-litre race tonight. As we stay with Jake Burton now, watching right up against the fence, Down actually scrubbing the fence on the way through. This is incredible speed they carry across the top here. Just look at this onboard. Already gapping the two behind them by 1.4 seconds by the top of the mountain. So is the intensity, the speed of these two racing. And down towards the S as they go, finding that inch perfect amount of grip under brakes. A little cough of smoke as it drops down into the dipper, and then down towards the elbow we go. Down all the while menacing. Here he comes right up onto the rear bar. Jake Burton once again. There's an inside scrape there for Burton. He did clip the wall. What sort of damage does that do? I think it's mostly just cosmetic. You don't lose a lot of performance from those little scratches and scrapes. Under the trees they go. So while they're scrapping, so are these two, Coleman and McCune. They have all night. Freeman's trying to stay with him, which he is doing pretty well. And Reale back in the pack as poor Dave Worrell into 7th place. Unfortunately for him, he's got a lap car in between himself. It's Dylan Thomas in P11. He's now in between those top competitors as we go back to the top two, starting lap 21. New fastest lap of the race there, a 2:05.12 for Jake Burton, just quicker than Madison Down slightly on that previous lap. down the inside, good overtake, moves himself up into the lead again. So Burton left the door wide open. I think he sort of expected that was coming, that move, and this lap in particular, Madison's just turned it up a notch. Once again, they scrapped the inside wall there, pushing to the absolute limits, right out to the fence. Just watch this turn-in point. Super quick through there, great shot. Disappear over the crest of the hill. Filling me down towards Skyline now, and the commitment by Madison, you can just see him trying to break the spirit, break the toe of Jake Burton here. He's got the gap at 4/10 of a second. He's trying everything just to eke this out a bit on this lap. But I think Burton's going to be right back on his tail by the chase. So is the other twos and fro's of this fantastic racetrack, where one gets a toe one lap, they overtake him, then the other one gets the favour the next lap, and you see Burton now start to hone in onto the back of Madison down. He'll close up. I'll be feeling the tyre wear. They're only allowed to take 2 tyres in the pit stop, these supercars, so I'm predicting by the last couple of laps of this race they're going to be squirming around big time all over the place as we see a battle between McCune, now Coleman. They attack. Who's going to come out in front here? They go side by side through the chase. Scott McCune just hangs on, almost gets a little bump there from Coleman, who will head down the inside under brakes. Late on the brakes, Scott McCune. Let's hope he can pull that up. He does. He gets to the apex, so good job. Scott McCune hangs on to that 3rd position and continues forward in the background. Michael Freeman staying in touch. Reali as well. And there's the lap car. Dylan Thomas also, unfortunately, down 2 laps after that big crash at the top of the mountain. We'll see him out of this one as far as being able to challenge for a top 3 position. Once again, Burton goes through into the lead. They're changing each lap. These super put on a show for us. The fastest lap of the race, lap 20, was a 2:05.118 with the weather. Still 41 degrees out there on the track temp, so it's a warm one. Burton now has down bolted to the back of him. Righto, so we head down Conroe with only 2 laps to go after this one. We're out of beer and we're out of laps here tonight. It's going to be a fight to the finish between these two. Checking in with the 2 litre class, so it's not much to really write home about. Matt Anderson has driven superbly in this one. He got the pit stop done. I'm not sure what happened in the pits for Brett Starling, but he had a 46-second pit stop as opposed to Matt Anderson's 14-second stop, which gives a 42-second lead to Anderson, and basically the checker flag signed, sealed and delivered. So whatever happened to Anderson, whatever happened to Starling in the pit stop, he'll be regretting that. And Peacock at the moment also had a 45-second pit stop, so I'm not sure what happened there altogether. And Dylan Thomas had a 2-minute obviously repair, 48-second stop for Ryan Gorton. It was a late comer for tonight's second race only, and he's still out there circulating, be it 7 laps off the lead lap. Here's the battle for the lead. Speaking of leaders, it's still Madison Down and Jake Burton side by side as they have been most of the night. Madison back into P2, almost scrapes the paint off the fence there. Close moment, hung on to it, good driving. Burton back into the lead, driving the wheels off this thing now. These tyres are absolutely shot. So like I said, we're going to see the car squirrel around, move around and dance for these last couple of laps. Battle behind them for the final podium spot. At the moment in the favour of Scott McCune, so he's just holding out Dave Coleman. I reckon the gloves will be off on the last lap of this race because one of these two is going to be desperate to stand on the podium. with Jake and Madison. Jake just rubbing the fence again there. I think he's done a bit of damage to that rear quarter. Look at that right-hand rear quarter of Jake Burton's car. Look at that, all stoved in. Wheel protruding from the arch now. Will this help Madison with a bit more straight line speed, especially coming into this final lap? The white flag's going to wave, and we're going to be off to the finish line. Here we go. Madison lines him up, down the inside he goes. Thank you very much. Overtake done. Switch back on offer. He's trying Burton. He's going to go to the outside, down towards the final corner now. And hard on the brakes. Madison's pretty strong on the brake pedal there. Will he try a switch back here, Burton? Flicks across, bit of wheel spin for down. White flag flies, 1 to go in this race tonight for the Improved Production Racing Association New South Wales 2022 eSeries. We are about to wrap it up in style here with Madison down, Jake Burton putting on a show. There is a lap car up the road. Will that play into this battle? I can hear it buzzing past. I think it might be one of the Hondas. As once again we get an overtake. It's actually Peacock up the road. So Peacock is in the Honda. Oh, bit of movement there for Burton. So down widens the corner out. Looks for a wide exit through there. All over his tail now. Gee whiz, he's pushing hard. Let's jump on board with Madison down on this final lap. Absolutely nothing in it between these two. And here's that lap car I was talking about. Peacock's up the road. Is this going to be a spanner in the works for these supercar drivers? Madison just gives a little bit of space there. Knows that they're going to have to pick a way to go. Burton, oh wow, he's all locked up, trying to avoid hitting the back of the Honda. And there you go. Big moment here on the final lap for the race leaders. And Jake Burton, how did he somehow stop that? He still hasn't got past. Now he's got past the Honda. So big moment there, balking the lead drivers was Josh Peacock. And that could have been a huge accident. Somehow got away with it. Jake Burton leads us down corner on this last lap. McCune, oh, a bit of contact between McCune and Coleman. Coleman almost out into the fence, grabs control of it, and now he chases down Scotty McCune, who's going to be the final step of the podium as we go into the chase side by side on this last lap. Madison down in front by a whisker, but Burton on the inside will get the run, and they bang doors again, these two. They've been at it all night tonight, and there's still contact. There's still contact. It's going to come down to the final corner. Madison down. Chris crosses over to try and block the line. Now Burton's going to stay on the outside, and Madison down's going to take the checker flag. Incredible finish to the race. And, well, not a lot in it. Here's the battle for P3, and it's going to be Dave Coleman who gets the win out of the next to the rest. So Coleman gets P3 ahead of McCune, Freeman, Reali, and Worrell. As they cross the line, Peacock's already classified bound in 10th place. Matt Anderson will take the win for the 2-litre class. And there you go, we are run and done. So Madison down with a great win. Made it look easy himself and Burton, didn't they? 9 seconds they pulled out in the last 5 laps to lead over the rest of the crew here tonight. So super quick. Right, we're going to wrap it up shortly. We're going to do some interviews with some drivers and wrap it all up here from Mount Panorama on Race Dust TV for this final round. Round 9 of the IPRA New South Wales eSeries for 2022. We'll be back with you shortly with some results and some interviews. Anderson crosses the line to take the win in the TCR class. Congratulations, good result there. Righto, we're going to go head over to Discord now and wait for our interviews. We'll try and wrap them up pretty quickly. I've got to get back to work. So down, I think he might do a jump here. We'll have a look.
Just want to say a massive shout out and thank you to everyone that competed throughout the year. especially the wild cards, Madison and Jake. You guys are absolute freaks and legends. Hope to see you all next year, guys. Keep an eye out. Thanks again for everything over the years.
Thanks for having us, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
And I believe, congratulations to Scotty, Kieran and Ryan Gorton taking out P1 for the season.
Right, we'll wrap things up now. We'll grab a couple of drivers in for a quick chat here tonight. Congratulations, Madison, with a win there. You and Jake put on a show tonight. Great job, and it was always a thrill to watch you guys go toe-to-toe and battle it out around Mount Panorama.
Yeah, a whole bunch of fun there. Obviously, Jake and I know each other pretty well, teammates at Brad Jones Racing, and a bit of a flashback to some of the eSeries stuff. And yeah, we hung it off the fences and plenty of bumper-to-bumper action. So yeah, heaps of fun, and thanks to David for the invite with the Ipransw series. It's been good fun.
Yeah, fantastic drive. And Jake, mate, it was neck and neck. I lost count of how many overtakes you guys did, but good fun racing tonight, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. It's Mads and I race each other fair a bit, but it's rare that we get the chance to go one-on-one like that.
Yep.
So, really cool. To be honest, there's no one I hate losing to more. Just kind of why I wanted to have a run tonight, but we'll call it 1-1.
Yeah, definitely that last corner, mate. He just got you there, didn't he, and blocked it out.
Yeah, it was hard racing, but it was all, I think, above board, which is really fun. Like you don't mind losing races where it's a good race, and that was definitely, I'd say, right on the limit from both of us in terms of what you can do, but we both kept it out of the fence, which is the main thing. So mad fun.
Fantastic. Well, hey, I'll let you two guys do a couple of thank yous just for appearing tonight. Madison, who would you like to thank, mate? You got some sponsors?
Yeah, big thank you to Virtual Racing School. Obviously, Virtual Racing School's been a big supporter of this series and using the VRS data pack sets as the fixed setups. So big thanks to them. They're a personal supporter of me, and great to see them supporting the series as well. Big thanks to everyone at the team, Trans-Tasman Racing, as always. And I'll pass to Jake.
Well done, mate. Jake, who would you like to thank?
Yeah, much of the same, to be honest. Big thanks to VRS, personal sponsors of mine as well. Obviously they are supporting the series, which is great to see. Especially, good to see someone having some faith in the Aussie community, and even, events like this is really, really cool. So, huge shout out to them, and massive thanks to Dave as well. I didn't get a chance to say before, but for the invite tonight was a lot of fun, and hope it gets bigger and better for you guys next year.
Well done, Jake. Good to see you and Madison here tonight. Thanks, boys. And we'll go now across to our winners of the championship. So, Scott, I think you've been crowned the winner of the V8 Supercar, or the top tier of this class. Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. How are you, mate?
Very good.
That's good. I'm not used to a 40, 50 degree track. I'm used to running around in wet 18 degrees, mate. This was a bit tough tonight.
Bit hot out there tonight, yeah, but well done, mate. Congratulations. Who would you like to thank for the series, and obviously any supporters for the win?
Well, firstly, I suppose yourself for broadcasting it. It's always good to see. Dave and IPRA for putting it on, and obviously their sponsors, DBA, CP Competition, Ravenol, I think it is, and Midas, I think are their major sponsors. Just the other boys in HSR that had a run at the, every now and then when they could get on. So.
Yeah, great job, mate. Congratulations to Scott McCune, our winner of the V8 class of this series, and the winner of the 2-litre class. Ryan, congratulations, man. Not your night tonight, but good to see you at least get back here and crown the winner.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the earlier races, and managed to join halfway through the second race, turn some laps with the guys. But just a big thank you for everyone that helped put it together. Ipransw New South Wales, all their sponsors, Dave, you guys for broadcasting. It was a good little series and a bit of fun to dust the sim off.
Congratulations. Who would you like to thank for your win in the 2-litre class, mate?
Oh yeah, mostly just the Ipransw New South Wales sponsors. So guys like Charlie from Pitcher Partners and Midas, everyone who gets behind the category and the series. It's great to see.
Fantastic. Any last words before we wrap up for tonight, Scotty?
No, just next time, Dave, when you do it, can we have a cooler track, please, mate? That'd be fantastic.
That's it. We'll get the icebergs out for you guys. Big thanks, big congratulations, Scott McEwen, the winner of the V8, and of course Ryan Gordon, the winner of the 2-liter. You guys have both put on a great fight throughout the season. It's been good to watch, so thank you.
Cheers,
Thanks
guys.
for having us, Luke.
Cheers, buddy. Take care. Righto, that's it for tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been good fun, and well, it is time for me to go back to work. So take care of yourself. Thanks to IPRA, IPRA, New South Wales, the improved production car. Make sure you go and check that out next time you see them racing at one of your local racetracks, because it is a fantastic grassroots category of racing here in Australia. Till next time, I'm Luke. This is Race Stars TV. Good night.